What's good, y'all? It's your guy Makai. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and every subscriber helps. Over here on this channel, it's all about the NBA daily. So if you enjoy the NBA as much as I do, please subscribe. And today we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. And I noticed that throughout the season, I haven't really talked about the Lakers that much because, one, there's not really a lot to talk about. And two, there's not a lot to talk about. So, today I just want to talk about their season as a whole and just where I think they went wrong and just what I think is going to happen, the rest of the way, because technically their season is not over. Right now they're in the play-in after the Spurs lost. I think the Spurs lost yesterday, I believe, to the Grizzlies. So after the Spurs lost, they're back in the play-in. And, with the play-in scenario, when you have LeBron, AD, Westbrook, I think they can win a few play-in games, but as far as, the season goes, I think they're most likely a first-round exit. Because with the Lakers, they have this, talent on offense, and Anthony Davis is a, elite defender, top tier defender, but he just gets hurt so often. It's like he didn't really have the chance to help this team out. He only played 37 games, and in those 37 games, he gave you 23 and 10 and 3 assists, right, and 2.3 blocks. So he was having a pretty good season, and people like to say, oh, he's soft, his shot fell off. His shooting from the mid-range from the three, obviously, it's not the level it was in the in the NBA bubble, but in the paint, he was leading the paint, as a scorer, when he was healthy. It's just that the constant injuries. With the Lakers, I'm not saying they would have been the first seed or second seed, but LeBron James has played 55 games. Anthony Davis has played 37 games. Westbrook has played 74 games. Westbrook is the only one of the the big three that's actually been healthy. I think Westbrook has missed one game this season. And, the guy with the second most games played is Malik Monk. Malik Monk was having a good season. I think this season showed, another team. Give Malik Monk a contract. He can create for himself. He can shoot the three real well. He, just is a good, he's a good player. And Malik Monk, I think he only came here to, one, it was his only option, and two, to kind of showcase his talents because, all eyes going to be on the Lakers. But I think the Lakers went wrong, and obviously, hindsight is 2020. Obviously, looking back, we can now say this, but I think the Lakers went wrong when they traded for Russ. And at the time of the deal, I was a big fan of it because I'm like, all right, you're getting this third star in order to, battle with, at the time, James Harden, KD, Kyrie, and the Brooklyn Nets. And I just think that's how the front office was looking at it. They said we need to get this third star, but I also think getting Westbrook was LeBron insurance because LeBron, over the past couple of seasons, he's missed, some time. He's missed, a couple weeks at a time, during these past couple seasons. And I think getting Westbrook is okay, if LeBron goes down, he's getting up there in age, or LeBron needs to rest, we have a guy who can, play make. We have a guy who can, provide rim pressure for us. And LeBron doesn't have to do as much of the work on ball. Because over the years, LeBron has been consistently just having a ball less, doing more ball stuff, whether it be cutting, spotting up for threes. LeBron is doing more of that stuff. So I understand the process behind getting Westbrook. But obviously, looking back, you wish they would have gotten Buddy Hield because they could have kept KCP. And you wish they would have re-signed Alex Caruso. The Caruso situation, I'm happy he came to the Bulls, but the Caruso situation where I think he wanted to take less money to stay with them and they still didn't sign him. Not keeping Caruso was the beginning of the end for these guys because Caruso was, I think he was their best point of attack defender besides LeBron when he, engaged. But keeping Caruso would have been huge for this roster who just needs defenders. And as I look on this, Lakers roster, there's really nobody who can, defend at a high level or even an above average level. The only two guys who I think are above average defenders is obviously Anthony Davis. But, above average is, not much of a statement for him. And LeBron James. But the thing about LeBron, I think he has, obviously we've seen him play elite defense. We saw it in 2020. We saw it for, last year. But this season, it seems like he's just not as engaged on that end. He's kind of just not matching up, foot speed wise. He's not really rotating off the ball. He's not really putting a lot of effort on, the defensive end. And, you can say what you want. Year 19, he's 37, so obviously he's not going to go engage, every single night. But he adds to the issues that the Lakers have. But, LeBron, he's averaging 30 points. He's giving you 6.3 assists, 8.2 rebounds, 52% from the field, 36% from 8 threes a game. LeBron, if not for the record, he would definitely be in the MVP conversation. Well, maybe because he missed the games, he wouldn't be in it. But LeBron James has been having one of his best seasons. I think this is his highest scoring season since he was like 23 years old. So LeBron offensively, he's doing everything he can every single night to try and help the Lakers win games. But the really crushing part is the regression that we saw from Russell Westbrook this season. Like in the beginning of the year, I said, when after like the first 10 or so games, I'm like, all right, Russell Westbrook, he always takes time. He always takes a minute to, acclimate to the new team he's on. It usually takes him, a month or two to really get going. We saw even with Washington, it took him basically half the season to really get going. But there was nothing to tell us that Russell Westbrook would just become such a poor finisher this season. There was nothing that led us to believe that Russell Westbrook wasn't going to be able to really help out this Laker team. And Westbrook this season, the stats are just kind of sad. He's giving you 18.2 points per game. I think that's his lowest since he was way back in OKC, early rookie days. He's giving you 7.1 assists, 7.5 rebounds, but 44% from the field, 29% from three. Are those numbers going to work for any team that's trying to win? No, not really. And Russell Westbrook, the thing about it is it's really weird. He's getting to the rim a lot. You still can't stop him. He's really still an explosive guy. He's quick, off the catch. He's quick, off the dribble. He's still really explosive getting downhill. But for some reason, he obviously doesn't have the same lift. So I think that might be, a cause of this. But he's just not finishing the same at the rim like he used to. And it's just been kind of crazy to see because he's getting the same shots he always has. Obviously, the mid-range is not falling. Obviously, the three-point shot is not falling. But the way that it's been happening, he's just getting all these great easy rim looks. The layups are just, not falling for some reason. And we knew who Russell Westbrook was before this season. We knew he wasn't coming in to be a defender. We knew he wasn't coming in to be a shooter. And he kind of showed us what we kind of expected to see. But the finishing being so bad is just kind of crazy to me. And, you know what I'm saying? It's just been really sickening. Because Russell Westbrook, his best attribute is his finishing. So it's like, if he's not doing that for you, I don't really know what he's doing. Now, granted, he's been playing better these last couple of games. I would say the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, he's been, scoring 20. He's been efficient. He's been getting his assist numbers up. He's just been more impactful to the game. But majority of this season, he has not been very impactful to the game. And it's just kind of baffling to me. But the Lakers, they're role players. They signed Melo. They signed Kent Bazemore. They had Wayne Ellington. They had DeAndre Jordan. There's just, those guys can't really defend. Those guys aren't really going to help you. And, they signed guys like Rondo. They got DJ Augustine. They got Stanley Johnson. Stanley Johnson's been, decent. Austin Reeves, the rookie, he's kind of overrated in my opinion. Avery Bradley, Taylor Horton-Tucker. Out of all these names I'm naming, who is really helping them win games? The only guys who are really impacting the game were LeBron and AD. And obviously, those are the two best players, so of course you want that. But you can't have so many weak defenders on the court and expect Anthony Davis to cover for everybody. But, like I said before, LeBron James missed a lot of time. Anthony Davis missed a lot of time. If you would have told me that they were going to miss this time before the season began, I wouldn't have expected them to be good. But the thing is, they haven't been that good when all three have been playing. I think we've got 20 games from them playing, and they're 11-9 in those games. And, a lot of those games, it would be LeBron returning from injury or AD returning from injury. And it's just kind of crazy that, they weren't even that great when they played together. And I saw some plays that they can run together, Westbrook and Braun, inverted pick and roll. Obviously, some side pick and roll with Russ and AD. Simple stuff like that was doing wonders, but they never really was able to get continuity together because it would be LeBron and Russ healthy. They play some games, they lose some games, and then LeBron goes down. AD comes back. AD and Russ, they play some games, they win some games, they lose some games. And LeBron James comes back, AD goes down, and it's just been kind of up and down season just on that end. And the Lakers, they've tried so much stuff. They tried to get Darren Collinson. They tried to make, Dwight Howard work again. They tried to make Kent Bazemore work. They tried to make Dwight Howard work. And Frank Vogel doesn't make a lot of these issues, better. Because I don't want to make Frank Vogel, the only guy who has to take an L for this. But Frank Vogel, some of the rotation he puts out, earlier in the season, he was playing, Rondo, Westbrook, Dwight Howard. He was just throwing anybody out on the floor and then be shocked when it wasn't working out. and just, you know, his rotations just haven't been good. The play calling has been stagnant. Like, Russell Westbrook should not be getting, you know, a lot of post-up situations. Westbrook should not be taking as many jumpers. You should be trying to get him downhill more. But even, like I said before, even though he got him downhill sometimes, it just hasn't worked out like it has in the past. So, you know, the Lakers, this is a pretty disappointing season. Moving forward, they don't really have any assets like that. Their assets like Taylor Horton-Tucker, and I think like a late first, way down in the future. But, you know, all their picks are in New Orleans, and they don't really have, the only player assets they have is Taylor Horton-Tucker and I guess Austin Reeves. Well, Austin Reeves hasn't been outstanding, but, you know, I guess they have to kind of let go of Russell Westbrook. He got that player option, but maybe they buy him out, maybe they trade him, but I just don't see Westbrook being on this team next season. But, you know, the Lakers, they got Russell Westbrook to try and compete with Brooklyn. They tried to, you know, be an overpowering super team. The experiment failed. Russell Westbrook isn't who we thought he was. And, you know, that should be normal because we're seeing LeBron, you know, had to dominate for like 20 years. And we've gotten kind of spoiled in a way because athletes like Russell Westbrook, not saying that there's a lot like him, but athletes like that, they, you know, after a certain point, they gonna have to start, you know, losing it. Russell Westbrook is 33. This is perfectly normal for a guy to, you know, not be as athletic, not be as quick, not be as good as he was when he was younger, as he was like 4 years ago in his 20s, in his late 20s. So 33 is kind of the drop-off point that we've seen a lot. Like, guys hit their early 30s and things just aren't the same anymore. But, you know, it's been a disappointing season, 31-44. I think they can win some playing games. As far as the playoffs goes, like I said before, most likely a first-round exit, barring some amazing LeBron and AD playing. AD is going to return tomorrow night, Friday, against, I think, the Pelicans. And, you know, we're going to see how it goes, man. But Lakers been pretty disappointing, if I do say so myself. But let me know what you think about the Lakers in the comment section down below. And if you say to this video, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.